because I'm going to record, and I hope it's recording. Yes, it is. Well, this is our normal Thursday night call. It's Daphne's call, and so I kind of took it over tonight because I was so excited that Crystal introduced us to one of her awesome team members, and her name is Ashley. Is it Abrams?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And she is going to help us with leads. And so what I want her to do is take right over, and she can tell you a little bit about, I did post some things about her, but how long she been in, just kind of brief, but get right to the nuts and bolts and see how you run your business as far as your leads and follow-ups. That's amazing. I can't wait. And I have a great big pad that I can start writing things down. So,
all right.
And thank you so much for doing this tonight.
Absolutely. I'm Ashley Abrams. I've been doing this since April of 2015. I'm definitely one of your green personalities. I write everything. I chart everything. I'm one of those people that read the comp plan. I may not have understood it, but I read it. So basically that is one of my strong points is following up. I hope I can give y'all some tips today that can really help, because I found out at one of our meetings that a lot of people don't follow up, and I about died, because follow up is going to be the only thing, there's one thing that's going to keep you through this business. So first off, I want to show y'all my planner, and you get these at Walmart, is golden to me. I would be lost without it. I was trying to find a blank page. Okay, it's one of these planners at Walmart. If you can see it, I'll get closer. But it's got the large boxes where you've got plenty of room to do everything except for Saturday and Sunday, of course, get smaller. But you get these at Walmart. They're about like this. They look like a notebook almost. And so you get that at Walmart. To start off with, what I do, today, for instance, okay, the first time you talk to somebody, you're going to get out your planner, and you're going to write down their name. And for me, most of the time, I've made a relationship with them, so I don't have a problem. I just can write their name. And I'll usually put, like, LC Fat Fighters, because, you know, you're going to need something to remind you that's quick to look at. So today, a lady called me from a Blitz card. So on my calendar, I didn't get her name because I'm that terrible, but I wrote Piggly Wiggly Blitz card. And that way, that's something that's going to ring a bell. And I'm going to put, she wanted to get a wrap, but she couldn't do it till the 3rd. So I'm going to put that in the box on today's date, because that's the day that's the contact I had with her. Then she said the 3rd was a good follow-up day. So I am going to go to the 3rd of October in my calendar book, and I'm going to write her name down again. And that's going to remind me. That is key, and that is vital, and that is an absolute have to. Say she wouldn't have given me a good follow-up date. Okay, I'm still going to write her name on today, because that's the initial contact. And then, depending on the conversation we have, she asked, let's say she just asked about a product. She asked, and she's like, okay, I'll get back with you. So usually I'm going to go about 3 days ahead in my calendar. With today being Thursday, I'm probably going to go ahead and go to Sunday, and I'm going to write her name and what she wanted or what she was interested in. And on Sunday, I'm going to go back and I'm going to follow up with her. But the key to this is in your initial contact on today's date, when I have written her down, you can see on this is one of my old ones, but on my right here, she is not highlighted. Okay, you want to highlight when you put a follow-up day going forward. Once you've wrote it down that on Sunday I need to follow up with her, make a check mark, highlight wherever it is on today's contact. So for the lady I wrote today, I went forward to my calendar to October 3rd, and I wrote her name. Then I went back and I highlighted. I don't mark through because you don't want to ruin your information. but highlight so you know you've made a follow-up day. So that way, when you're flipping back and you're flipping through, you never want to mark through a day that's current until you have a follow-up day written down. So when you're looking back through and you realize that you've got blank spaces right here, you're like, hey, I've not followed up with them, because I'll do that. I'll breeze back through my calendar because it's all right here. It's simple. It's easy. So that's one of the most important things is never check. As soon as you talk to them, you put them down on the day. You put what they're interested in, or maybe the time frame where you met them, something that's going to ring a bell. I usually do their name and what they're interested in. Go through to when you're going to follow up with them. If you're not sure of follow-up time, there is a 2 and 2 rule. They say 2 days, 2 weeks, and 2 months. That's kind of a generic thing. For me, I like to make it personal. If they tell me, I'm going to go look at the products tonight, I'll let you know. Tomorrow I'm going to check on them and say, hey, did you have any problems with the website? Did you find everything okay? So on today's date, when they told me that I'm going to look through everything, that rings a bell that I need to put down to follow up with them tomorrow. So I write down in that spot that I'm going to follow up with them tomorrow. Then I go back to initial contact, which is today. I go ahead and highlight it. So that's the big thing. So now you're on to, say it's Sunday, and I followed up with this person from Sunday. Okay. So she said she was looking at Fat Fighters. She said that yeah, I'm interested. I'm gonna look through the information and I'll let you know. So I've decided I'm gonna follow back up with her on Sunday because I usually never go more than 3 days without following up. You don't want them to forget about you. Think about how many times something has popped in your mind. You've seen it on Facebook. You've seen it at the store. If you only go to Walmart one time and see that dress on the rack and you don't go back for 3 months, are you going to remember it? Or if you walk into Walmart on Saturday and you see it again on Monday and then you have to go back on Thursday and you're like, man, I wish they'd move that dress. I've got to have it. So you're not bothering them if you're being genuine and checking up on them. So my fake person I've checked up with on Sunday. And so now I'm on my Sunday, on my date book. I've moved forward to say this is her. I've moved forward on my date book where, say, I wrote her name and I follow up with her. And I'm, how can I help? Is there anything I can help you with? And so forth. So it is now, this is my second contact with her. And she says, well, I didn't even get a chance to look through it. Let me look through it, and then I'll get back with you. It's been crazy this weekend. That is no problem. I completely understand. It is crazy around here, too. So I'm probably going to give her about, this is Sunday, I'm probably going to give her about a week at this point. You want to give her, everybody's got different days they get stuff done. So she's talked to me on Thursday. I wrote it down in my book. I followed up with her on Sunday. So now I'm like, okay, it's Sunday. Let's give her a whole week. Everybody's payday's different. So then I'm going to follow up with her about a week later. And on Sunday, my second contact with her, she tells me, I'm sorry, I hadn't got a chance to look through it. Let me look through it. So I've decided I'm going to follow up with her a week from now. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my calendar book to the next week, and I'm going to write down on Sunday, I'm going to write her name. And I'm going to use a highlighter to go through the current day. Does that make sense? How I'm going back and forth? Because I don't want to confuse anybody. But, I initial contact, they're on that day. I flip, I put them on my follow-up, and then I go back to that initial day, and I'm going to highlight through to make sure I never highlight anybody until I have a follow-up day in my book again. That way you don't forget anybody and say, like for me, I'm sitting at the table, I've talked to somebody, and then my son starts doing something. Well, now I'm off in West Field. I'm the type of person that if I go to the kitchen to wash dishes, I need a clean towel, I'm going to start washing clothes. So I'm bouncing everywhere. So not highlighting it because you've got a follow-up date is going to solidify the fact that nobody gets left behind. So those are the main tips. I know a lot of people have asked on continuing on how I continue to follow up. The organizational part, this is it. If I talk to anybody, I have it on here. Okay. I even a lot of times I left my other notebook in the car because I've got like 7. But a lot of times what I've actually started doing that helps better is, if y'all can see here, it's sloppy, potential customer, potential DT, current customer. There's personal up here. That's also another way for me to organize, because throughout the day I'll be thinking, I'll see on Facebook that Sarah's brother just, got in an accident. So I'll jot down real quick on tomorrow's, I got my planner out all the time, and just jot down, check on Sarah under personal. And that kind of makes me, if there's not greens like me, then y'all don't worry about it. Just make sure you write something down in the day when you contact them or when you're planning on contacting. But for greens like me that need that organization more, it makes me, it keeps me to where I know I am doing what I'm supposed to do. Because like that day that I had potential distributors that I had nobody I was going to follow up with, guess what I need to be doing the next day? I need to be finding some distributors to either follow up with or initial contact. So for me, it keeps me accountable. It keeps me accountable to make sure, because I try to do contact, 5 potential customers, 5 potential distributors, and some days it's just not time to follow up, or you're still making personal connections. So it does keep you accountable. That's an organizational thing that some people may not need. But for me, it keeps me accountable to have those different lists. And like I said, you're on Facebook and you see that somebody's gotten hurt or something about their family, or you're thinking about them. Some people you're still in the midst of building a relationship with that you either want on your team or you want as a customer, but it's just not the time. But you want to make sure that you comment, that you like, that you reach out to them on a level outside of it works. That personal column is huge. It's really big for that, having that personal column to just check on people or check on customers, because I've not been last, it'd be the last week or two being so running for these distributors with this BOGO and everything, and I'm like, man, I need to make sure I'm making my list, making sure my current customers are on there also. Y'all have to excuse me. I got off my green because I didn't know this, but I thought it would affect if I had blood work done. It doesn't. But so of course I got sick as soon as I got off my green for about a week. But so that's going to be your initial contact, and then your follow-up schedule. After about you have initial contact. For me, most people 3 to 4 days. I would say 3 days. 1 to 3 days follow up with them, because we forget, we get sidetracked, we do this, we do that. And let's face it, them purchasing a product and us helping them purchase a product is more important to us initially than it is them, if that makes sense. If somebody contacts me about Premier Jewelry, I'm like, oh yeah, I'd love some. Well, I would, but right now that's just not forefront. It's not that I don't want it. It's just that I got 87 other things going on. So we need to be sure we are following up within 1 to 3 days. Just a simple, I just wanted to make sure you didn't have any questions is my biggest thing, because a lot of times they'll close the conversation like, I'll let you know. If they ever say, I'll let you know, the next day to 1 to 2 days, I will follow up with, I just wanted to make sure you didn't have any questions. I know when I was first introduced, I had a lot of questions, but I didn't want to bother anybody. So that has been huge for me with distributors and customers. So then after that initial 1, 2 to 3 days that we follow up, usually I go about a week, depending on circumstances. But we get real shy about the fact that we don't want to bother people. So within the first week and a half, you should talk to them twice. Then after that, I usually will give it 2 weeks to 3 weeks, depending on what I'm seeing in their life going on. If they're crazy busy, or, you know, you just kind of have to balance it out and think, if it was me, or when I was introduced to this, or if somebody was coming to me with, you know, another network marketing or something like that, you know, that's kind of how I base it is, I'm sorry, the dog's scratching the door. But that's kind of how you have to base it, is if it was me. So usually within the first 3 weeks, I've contacted them once initially in my date book, put a follow-up date, marked out initially. Then I followed up anywhere from 1 to 3 days later. If they don't respond, that's okay. If they don't respond, I usually go to I'll give them about 2 weeks if they don't respond on my follow-up, due to the fact that you never know what's going on, and sometimes it is money, and most people get paid money-wise 2 weeks in between, and they hit payday, and 2 or 3 days later, they want it. They are interested, but nobody wants to say, I just don't have the extra money right now. You know, that's just not something we want people to know. So if they don't respond on my follow-up, I usually give about 2 weeks. That gives pay period time. That gives time for me to kind of drift off. And in that meantime, in that 2 weeks, guys, they are on my personal column to make sure that I follow up with them in a manner of showing I care, whether it be a like, your baby's so cute, look at this, look at that. That's why that personal column is important, and that is why not highlighting through the initial contact is important until you have another follow-up day, because they've not responded. Okay, they were interested 2 days ago. Well, now they've not responded. So what do? Usually those non-responses get lost in the shuffle because we back off, and because we don't really know, well, when do I respond? Like I said, I give them about 2 weeks. I follow up with the same thing of, I don't want to bother you. I hope I haven't offended you. I just wanted you to know I'm still thinking about you, and I'm here if you have any questions. Okay? So when they do not respond, you have not highlighted through their name on your date book, right? You didn't set a follow-up date because they didn't respond, and then you went on with your day. So at the end of the week, when you flip back through your book, just to make sure you've covered all your bases, you see, I did not highlight through Gina's name. Let me see if she ever responded and I didn't see it. And Gina didn't respond, and you had went on about your day and didn't think about it. So at the end of the week, it's easy as pie to go through your highlighted areas and see that these two aren't highlighted. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the week, it's payday Friday. Everybody's following up. Let me see if I missed anybody. And you go back through, and okay, all this was good. You've highlighted everybody here, so they have a follow-up day. Here, 2 people didn't get highlighted because they didn't respond, and I went on about my day and didn't think about it. So on Friday, I've seen that I don't have a follow-up day with them. That's why highlighting is important. It is kind of, for some people, overwhelming, you know, like, oh my gosh, this seems like a lot. But once you get used to doing it, to write it down when you talk to them, write down the follow-up date, going back through and highlighting. It's easy, and it's going to keep you accountable to making sure people are okay, to making sure you're following up with them. Because I've had very, very, very few, like I can't even think off the top of my head of people that, I had one girl that didn't respond for 6 months. She was very interested in the business. And I always kept my follow-ups personal. But after the initial 4 weeks of, I followed up once, or I talked to her once, followed up a couple days later, didn't get a response, followed up 2 weeks later. Well, then she went on a monthly basis where I'm just going to check in. Key to this, especially guys if you're on Facebook, once you get on that monthly basis, they need to go on a personal follow-up. And a personal follow-up is, you don't have to message them and try to think of something great and wonderful to say. They just need to be somewhere on your calendar. For me, once somebody has gone on a monthly follow-up list, there is a notes section in these notebooks. So at the first of every month, you got the calendar laid out, which is where I put my parties, Zooms, meetings. But then you have this tiny notes section. And in that notes section, if they're on a they're not responding anymore, or something to where you just don't know where you play in the picture, I'm going to put them there. That way I know I need to personally reach out to them. And then once a month, today one of them I sent was, I know you said you're super busy, and I know that you said right now may not be the best time, and at some time you may be interested, but I want you to know I'm still thinking about you. I'm not going anywhere, and I can't wait till I get to join you on this adventure with me. So your monthly follow-ups are going to be something to that effect. I understand what you're going through, but I just want you to know I'm still thinking about you. Or for a product, that you talked to them about the product. A monthly follow-up for me is I'm putting in product testers for the first of the month. I'm filling those spots. Or I'm looking for somebody that's wanting to do the hair, skin, and nails, and I know you were interested. I just wanted to check back in so you would have first chance at that spot. So my monthly follow-ups are something to that effect. I want them to feel important. I want them to feel like I'm reaching out to them, because I want them to know that product-wise or distributor-wise, they're on my mind, and I want them. I want them to either take that spot and tell me their testimony after using the product, or if they're just, I'm not pushing you, I just want you to know you're still on my mind. So once they get on a monthly follow-up schedule, that's how I do it. And you have some people that just drift off and they're in this nowhere land. Do I follow up with them? Do I not? Do I message them, or am I pushing them? And when you have those, floating area people, just simply put them right here so you don't forget about them. And then you can go back in your calendar and you've never followed them because you didn't really have an exact follow-up day, because you don't really know where they stand. Some of these that I would love to, but I'm just busy right now. I've got so much going on. Okay, I would love to. If you don't mean it, you shouldn't have said it to me. Because if I want you, then I'm coming after you. I'm not going to abuse you. I'm not going to make you feel dirty. But you shouldn't have done told me that you would love to, because you're going to do it one day. So whether it's the product or it's being a distributor, if they're like, I have one right now. She's a master's degree student. I think she would be great. That was her response. I would love to, but I'm in school and I just feel like it would be a lot. And I responded, I was like, I completely understand. When I started, I had a 2-year-old that was a very unruly child. The great thing about it is the more exposure you get, with people at school. It's just something that becomes routine, But I understand completely. And I never got a response. And so she goes on my, floating up in the area place. She's going to go right here. And once a month, I make sure, depending on where she stands. Now, that's where you've got to kind of decide on your own. Like, I know right now she's still in school, and I know that's not changed. And so I'm just going to make sure that I somehow personally reach out to her on Facebook, make sure I'm liking her stuff, make sure I'm having some kind of connection with her. Then next month, she'll go on that floating in nowhere space, so I make sure that I personally connect with her. And then about that 3rd month, I'm going to reach out to her again and let her know. I know you're still busy. I know you're still in school, but I've still got you on my mind. So those are for those floaters that if you just don't know how to follow up with them, I don't say to do that a lot. I don't at all, because I'm a monthly person. And somebody told me 2 weeks, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. And hey, she was double diamond, don't get me wrong. That works for people. But as for me, I usually do a monthly basis. I was on a monthly basis with a girl and let her know about BOGOs, team giveaways, and she just stopped responding. And this was the 7th time I had followed up with her. And it was like, I'm just still thinking about you. We've got this BOGO. I didn't want you to miss a promo. And she was like, I'm really thinking about it. She now at this point in her life, she is having to not to part-time work instead of full-time work, and she's going into cosmetology school. So now it works for her. What if at the 5th or 6th time I wouldn't have responded? She told me she was interested. She told me she wanted to. She told me she talked to somebody about it before and they weren't doing it anymore. Well, guess what? Would she already be doing it if somebody would have followed up the fifth, sixth, or seventh time? You know, and just reminding people that we're thinking about them is following up. It doesn't have to be, hey, are you ready to be a distributor now? Or are you ready to try that product now? Just letting them know, I value you. I value you. And so those floaters that can go on this list, this notes list, or on your monthly follow-up, you just have to make the distinction on, are they somebody that's pretty much told me no, but just not all the way? Or are they somebody that's maybe scared, may not have the money, or may just be like in that floating area? Like with one girl, she told me she wanted to. She told me she was interested. She never told me she was too busy. So I kept following up once a month. The other girl told me she's busy, told me that she was in her master's degree, told me she had a lot going on, did say she was interested. So I'm not going to give up on her, but she may be one of my personal level people, and at least the third month I'll follow up with her. But that's just got to be something that you kind of have to decide, because I don't have a lot of those 3-month follow-up people, especially not with products. Just because products is usually a money thing. If we're showing them results, we're letting them know what it does. It's usually going to be a money thing. So I don't think I've ever gone 3 months unless somebody's told me no with a product. But with distributors, I give a little bit more leeway because I know how I felt. I watched Crystal for 2 years. I killed her and Brienne for 2 months before I signed up. So I kind of give a little bit more because I know where I stood with it. I think when you get info, this is something big that I've realized. A lot of people, we get the courage to face-to-face blitz, and we're like, yeah, I gave out a blitz card. And they walk off, and you're like, oh, crap, I hope they call, because I have no idea who they were, where they live, or what their number is. You know, like, go get the card tag. Maybe we can find them, you know. So what I've realized, one of the best things to do, I blitz somebody, and I'm like, this has got my website and everything on it, but I can see some actual real before and afters of me, or some actual real before and afters from my teammates, because I know I was skeptical at first too. Would you be okay with that? And they'll be like, oh yeah, I guess. You know, they don't know what to say. They're like, yeah. And you're like, okay, just what's your number? And I'll put it in and I'll get those before and afters to you. And sometimes I don't do it right away. If it's in the evening that I've run into somebody, I may do it the next day. I just wanted to get these before and afters to you. And that gives you a follow-up. That gives you an opportunity to, A, get their number from a face-to-face blitz, and B, get that follow-up in without seeming like it was uninvited, if that makes sense. Okay? I think that was a big thing, is blitzing and how to make sure that you're getting their information. Because if you don't have their number, 9 times out of 10, they're probably not going to get back with you just because they put it in their pants pocket and they forget it, or they put it in their purse and they go on and they forget it. We have got to follow up. If you want to have a business, I'm telling you, when I make ambassador, this is going to be my speech. If you want to have a business, you will follow up with every single person, and you will do it till they, A, block you, B, delete your number, C, call the police, and not in a harassing way, but checking on them. You've got to make people know that you care and that you want them and that you're concerned with them, and that's what you do with following up. And so if you don't follow up, you will not keep a business. And if you do have a business, you'll constantly be having people that you're missing everywhere. So following up, because I have had one person out of 100 or more customers that actually signed up when they first initially talked to me, and that was my very first customer. And that's it. Most people take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times at least before they're even, or looking at, I've got one girl I'm trying to find as a distributor, and God love her, she's got to the website every day this week for the BOGO. Every day. And she's still not signed up as a distributor. We get sidetracked. We're busy. And things disappear. So just don't lose people in the shuffle. They're too important. The products and what they can do for them are too important. And what the business can do for them are too important to lose them in the shuffle of life. So it's our job to make sure they know where we're at and where they can reach us. They should never have to wonder where we are. Nobody will ever, never wonder what I'm doing, because they will know because I'm checking on them, if that makes sense.
We only have, Ashley, we have about 6 minutes left. And I guess my question, what about the leads? What is your advice to the leads that people have had and hasn't followed up with in so long? Just start it over and put them in there?
Yes, absolutely.
And run with it?
Yes, absolutely. If you've got somebody that you basically forgot about, they don't have to know that. They don't know that it would be great if you followed up this amount of time. Hey, honey, it's been a while. Just wanted to check on you and see if you were still interested in the products. I'm looking for people, a couple people, to start, a hair, skin, and nails to show me what he can do in 90 days. Are you still interested? It don't matter if it's been a year. They don't know any different. You know what I'm saying? If you've gotten a lead, whether it be from an event, from a lead box, from a blitz, like even if it is an event, follow up. Just, hey girl, I was looking through my notebook and I wrote down your name, and I just wanted to make sure and follow up. I actually had 2 people that I never got their name for a follow up to an event. And then we had a promotion, and I was going all through my phone, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, how did I forget these people? Well, it's because I didn't get their name. Shocker. And they're like, Nakalula Falls lady, like something crazy. And I followed up with her, and she was like, yeah, I'm still interested. I just can't do it this month. It had been like 6 months. So, like, Follow-Up Preacher right here has done it too. They don't know any different. If you got their number, you come up with something and you let them know, I'm still thinking about you. I just wanted to check on you.
Cool. Does anybody have any questions for her? We have about 4 minutes left. Anybody at all? You definitely covered everything for us, and I greatly appreciate all your time and everything you have done. I guess one other question is, I've noticed in your book there, you have 2 different colors in your highlights, or is it just something that you grab one?
I'm very green, and I think I overwhelmed some of our people. That's why I didn't bring it up. Like my yellows are ones that I'm just on the follow-up schedule now. My greens are, I'm ordering right now, blah 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 blah. So it's a quick reminder for me to know, like, say a promotion comes up, or I know to go ahead and follow up. They're a definite. They're saying they are ordering. Like here, Tracy says this PM, and she was going to order, so I went ahead and flipped over. My blues are in that floaty land, and my greens that I highlight are money. If it's a money issue, I highlight them green. It just kind of gives me a way to differentiate between everybody and where everybody kind of stands and what kind of help. It's easier than putting dollar signs or, something to that effect. It's just quicker and easier.
Great. Well, I can't thank you enough. This has definitely helped me, because I am not that well at follow-up, but with this, I'm going to run right down the store and see if they have one of them right now.
They should have them on sale. I got me a new one, y'all. They should have them on sale because we're towards the end of the year, so you can go ahead and get you an October one or a 2016 one for real cheap.
Yeah, so I'm hoping. But thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions? We have like 2 minutes left. We all good?
That was amazing, that technique. It's so amazing to me, and honestly, like, she does go deeper with her organization skills, but if you're like, you're red and I don't need that.
I definitely like another follow-up video with her. To do the Zoom and pick up from where we left off here. But I think what I will, offer myself and my team and others that are out here is something that we'll take this and utilize it for a week to 10 days, maybe 2, and then I'll reach out to you again.
Awesome.
Okay?
Hey, that's a good promotion gift that's a good starter gift. When I first get people, I make them a little bag with a little calendar. Sometimes I start out with a smaller one, so it doesn't overwhelm them or so they don't feel like it's empty. But that's a good gift when you've got a new distributor that first starts, or a promotion gift. Just it's simple, just that little planner. One of the smaller ones.
Yep.
I've used it, and it's just something to kind of get them in the habit, and it's something like that. And so preach it to your teams as they start it. Preach it to your people as they start it, and get them a planner.
All right. Thank you so much. I don't want to disconnect, but thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. You rock, guys.